Welcome to part 2 of 6 of the video series where we go through each color of Disney Lorcana. In today's video we are going to go through Amethyst, which is one of my personal favorite colors in the game. In fact, this channel is named after one of what I think is the best cards ever printed in Disney Lorcana, and that is Merlin Goat. Stuck at 19 lore, just top deck a goat and you win the game. So first let's go to Amethyst's strengths. Amethyst rewards players who love tempo control and card draw. While other colors depend on brute force, power or teamwork, Amethyst prefer cleverness. It can be technical, which might be a bit difficult for beginners. But if you want to test your knowledge of how different cards work with each other, Amethyst is a great way to do it. Let's take a look at the card draw mechanisms. Amethyst gives you access to lots of card draw mechanisms, allowing you to always stay one step ahead. Amethyst Chromicon is an item that allows both you and your opponent to draw a card every turn. Friends on the other side is used in many Amethyst decks. Using a character to sing this means you save your ink to do other things. Merlin Rabbit draws a card when summoned and when it leaves the field. You'll rarely run out of gas and you can keep digging for your best combo pieces. Next, let's talk about evasive characters. Evasion is one of Amethyst's trademark mechanics. Characters with evasive can only be challenged by other evasive characters, and Amethyst have some of the best in the game. Genie replaces itself because you draw a card when you play him, and Elsa exerts a character on play plus has rush. If your opponent has no evasive characters and no removal, your evasive characters can run away with the game easily. With the evasive characters and card draw, you usually control the tempo of the game by staying ahead in resources and board presence. Now let's go through some of the cards that best represent what Amethyst is all about. First up, Friends on the Other Side, one of the best Amethyst songs. Singing this early can give you lots of options to build a solid foundation. Next up, Merlin, Goat, Rabbit and Crab. The different Merlin forms provide both lore and utility. Being able to provide usage both when they enter the field and leave the field means you get lots of mileage out of them. Madam Mim, Fox and Snake are what makes Amethyst so technical. Bouncing your own character seems counterintuitive at first, but there are so many combos to pull off. An example of this is if you have Merlin Goat on play. Quest with the goat, play a Madam Mim Fox to bounce the goat to your hand to gain a lore, and play the goat again for another lore. You now have a goat that is not exerted, and Madam Mim Fox has rush, so she can challenge any threats on board. And this is just one of many examples that Amethyst players use to stay ahead of their opponents. Now let's talk about Amethyst's weaknesses. First up, the low willpower means that you have rather fragile characters. Most Amethyst characters have low willpower, meaning they are easy to banish. They don't survive long in direct confrontations, and you'll often have to rely on evasive or bounce effects to keep them safe. A well-timed steel removal card or an aggressive emerald deck can wipe your board quickly if you're not careful. The second weakness is the reliance on key interactions. Amethyst shines when it can draw into combos and maintain tempo. But if you miss your curve or your opponent has early board pressure, you might fall behind and struggle to catch up. Without evasive characters on board, Amethyst can have a hard time defending itself. The third one is the lack of a strong early game. Amethyst excels in the mid to late game, so against aggro decks that have many 1 and 2 cost characters, it may struggle to catch up. So here's what a typical Amethyst deck wants to do. The early game is about setup, tempo and draw. Use early evasive characters and draw spells to fill your hand and establish tempo. Use cards like Merlin Rabbit and Friends on the Other Side to help you get started. You aim to outdraw and set up a good foundation for the mid game. By the mid game, you are questing with evasive characters and drawing more cards than your opponent. This is where Amethyst starts to shine. Your opponent's moves feel inefficient while yours build up lore without contest. The late game is about winning with lore and out-tempoing your opponent. If your board holds, you can win quickly by questing safely while still keeping your hand full and your opponent off balance. You are not trying to dominate the board, you're dancing around it. Next up, what are the best colors to pair with Amethyst? First up, Ruby Amethyst, which has been one of the most popular and powerful combinations. This is a tempo heavy deck that combines Amethyst, evasive and bounce mechanics with Ruby's removal and aggression. You still have a rather weak early game, but the mid game is dominated by Amethyst and the late game by Ruby, so you overwhelm your opponent during these two phases. Next up, Amethyst Steel, which has a few ways to play. There is the Jafar Wheel, where you use Jafar Striking Illusionist to gain lore whenever you draw a card. Play a whole new world and you are gaining 7 lore and drawing 7 cards. There is also a board control version and an aggro version of Amethyst Steel. With Amethyst being a rather versatile color, there are many ways to play this combo. Next up, Amethyst Emerald, which gives you hand disruption, lore manipulation and fast evasive questing. There are many discard cards in Emerald which we will go through in the next video. Pull the lever and wrong lever from Reign of Jafar is very good in this combo. In conclusion, Amethyst is a color for players who enjoy thinking a few turns ahead and controlling the tempo of the game. You are not powering your way to victory, you are drawing, bouncing, questing and leaving your opponent wondering how you slipped away with the win. Amethyst is a style whereby you slowly and steadily build up your presence and your lead, and by the time your opponent realizes it, you are already too far ahead. So if this sounds interesting to you, take a look at the Amethyst cards and you will find a playstyle that suits you. With that, thank you for coming to the end of this video, sending you lots of love, see you in the next one.